Get woke, go broke. Looks like Greta Gerwig learned that lesson the hard way. Am I right, Erich?
I am become Death Destroyer of Kino.
And the Weekend Warrior.
I'm just feeling the positive energy here from this chat, so keep them coming, guys.
Now, this movie did flop big time, and they went woke and went broke, right?
Actually, no.
For a movie that mentions patriarchy about 500 times, I think. Yeah.
Wait, this movie's making money, Weekend?
Yeah.
What? No!
Take that, incel scum.
Everything I know is a lie! Tim Pool lied to me!
Get ready to hear this shit a lot more, guys.
Yeah.
No! God damn it!
Oh, I thought going woke meant going broke. I think the exception just proves the rule. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take mask off, go full cancel right now. I'm just gonna say that they lied in the marketing because what they were showing was a fun doll adventure, and then it turns out to be a 30-minute rant, a 30-take rant that is 4 minutes of a woman whining, encapsulating the feminine experience. So I don't know what they were thinking with that shit, honestly.
I think the big speech towards the end of the film, where it's just like 3 full minutes of bitching about how hard it is to be a woman, I think that did capture not the experience of being a woman, but the experience of being around a woman.
I can't remember what the fuck it's from, but I feel like I've heard that exact kind of speech before. Was it in Lady Bird or something? I'm completely bewildered because it was so fucking familiar.
Well, yeah, I think it's a lot of complaints that they've been making for about 40 years, and even though things have changed, the script has not. The Barbie movie had a lot of derivative sections and doing comedy bits that have been done 100 times before, but we'll get into all that. We're also going to talk about Oppenheimer here. I guess we're doing the Barbenheimer thing. If you would have told me a year ago that the next Christopher Nolan movie, Is It Kino Review, would be co-opted by a fucking Barbie movie, I would have been disgusted, but here we are.
That's just reality in 2023. Sometimes you got to,
Which might be a mistake. Maybe we should give these movies their own reviews, because August is not looking too kino. I don't think there's a single movie coming out that I want to see for probably 2 or 3 months.
What's happening? Let me check. Cinema releases.
I mean, Blue Beetle, and it's projecting to make like $20 million.
15 million, yeah.
You don't want to watch The Meg 2?
No.
Meg 2?
Oh, The Meg 2 looks like Kino. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, God. You guys and Florian can do that one again.
Oh,
holy shit.
That's just, every episode should just be not me anymore. You guys, you three can take care of it.
The torch has been handed over.
To Florian. Well, do you guys want to start with Barbie or Oppenheimer?
We got to start with Barbie. Come on.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to need a lot of time to work through Oppenheimer because, you know.
That sounds great.
Well, and personally, I went and saw Oppenheimer opening night and then saw Barbie over the weekend. So I started with Oppenheimer on my Barbenheimer viewing. How did you guys watch them?
I saw Barbie first on, I believe, Saturday night, and then traveled an hour and a half to a 70 millimeter IMAX theater to see Oppenheimer.
Nice. I think the sound helps it.
Oh, absolutely.
And Weekend, which website did you watch a cam rip of these movies on?
I actually watched it on theaters. Barbie first and Oppenheimer.
What is it? Slotslights.com or something where there's all this shit on the screen while you're watching?
No. Slots, and it's Slots Galaxy, okay?
You would know for sure.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Slots Galaxy?
I think, Erich, as Americans, we should probably formally apologize to Weekend for our country dropping the bomb on him.
Oh no, we got the premiere, broskies. We got front seat, baby.
Why you guys got to see the real Oppenheimer?
All the different Asian peoples hate each other in a way, so I think that Weekend's probably perfectly fine with us dropping the bomb on Japan.
Yeah, when Oppenheimer gave that speech about, I bet Japan didn't like it, like Weekend was clapping along in the theater.
I went up from my chair and clap like USA, USA.
Oh, wow. Wow, yeah, Oppenheimer is really uniting the world's people, or the people of the world against Japan, and I think it's beautiful. But yeah, Erich is right. Let's start with Barbie.
And in response, they made anime. And they fucked everyone.
Are you telling me if we did not drop those two bombs, I would not have One Piece? Like, it's really hard for me
absolutely.
to feel bad for these people. Like, I love One Piece so much, I say drop a third bomb.
Will it make Oda finish sooner?
I fucking hope so. I can't take another month-long break.
He's got to get his eyes corrected or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, Barbie movie, Erich. I know you're champing at the bot to talk about this one, so let's hear it.
I like that. I like doing the first part correctly and then getting the second part.
Yes.
Kind of rules. Champing at the bot. So I went into this movie kind of expecting it to be a fairly... I honestly didn't expect it to be as preachy as it was. I thought it would be a pretty, like, staid, standard, like, just Barbie goes into the real world, has adventures, and then comes back to the Barbie land world. And I really didn't expect it to go full, like, patriarchy. You need to have Ken learn that everything in the real world is beneficial for him, and he tries to bring that back. It's so... I don't know. It gets so into that shit that I feel like it harms the movie's kind of narrative flow, so that I feel like Barbie herself isn't really a character. She's kind of just a stand-in for women generally. And then by the end of the movie, when she's in the real world and has decided to live life as a normal woman, I was like, well, who the fuck is this person? I don't know. I don't give a shit. I don't care about Barbie.
Yeah, and her character development is that she develops genitals. Like, you could have done anything with that final scene, and they just wanted to do another vagina joke.
The last joke is not her as an individual. It's not her as a person. It is literally just, I have a vagina now. And so, like, I get it for all the women in the audience who have vaginas and all the women who don't. But,
and the men who have vaginas, Erich.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of those at my showing, for sure.
I understand that, where it's like, now Barbie has a vagina just like me. But, like, what is Barbie interest? Like, what does she want to do with her life? What is her, like, thing she wants to go after? I thought it would be great if she became, like, a fucking child psychologist or something and was, like, trying to, like, help kids, or, like, I don't know, like, there's any number of things you could have her do at the end that made it be like, oh yeah, she is a person who has developed through this. But then I feel like they kind of throw it away on a dumb joke at the end.
Can I make a confession?
Oh, please.
When she said, I went to the gynecologist, I thought, oh my god, she already had her crane run over her after she became human.
Oh my god.
Wait, that's why they go to the vagina doctor to close it up after the BBC stretched it out?
It's just a fucking weird way to end the movie, right? Oh, fine. I was agreeing with Erich. I thought, oh, she's going for a job interview because she wants to do something with her life as a human. But now it's just her with a vagina. It's so fucking weird.
And just to be clear to the makers of the Barbie movie, the concept that your dolls do not come with genitals is not a unique concept to Barbie. Actually, if you do a little research, most toys for children don't have penises or vaginas. So your joke is not even unique to your fucking brand.
Take that, corporation.
Yeah, like why are there 8 jokes about this like it's unique to Barbie? Like, show me the kid's toy that does have a fucking dick. I just basically have a list of complaints. Should I just go through them? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
let's go through them. Let's see where they are.
And then also, we do have a text version of the big speech where women complain about being women, so we should also dissect that, I assume. Complaint number 1. The film seems to think that men are obsessed with horses. That's a woman thing? Am I wrong here?
Yeah.
The fuck? Like Ken's whole thing is he loves horses because he learned that from the patriarchy. What fucking world do you live in, Greta Gerwig?
No, this is the part where Vosh had inputs in the script. So he went, maybe we should put horses in the script, Greta. That's what would make this film great. I think that's what happened there.
I mean, for me, it's like the cowboy or the Western lawman or outlaw or whatever has always been accompanied by horses. But horses are always, to me at least, seen as like tools, or it's just a way to get around. It's the same shit as like cars in a way. And they do have like a minor cutaway gag where he's like trying to talk to a woman about cars and stuff. But it's just, they're just tools. Like, I don't think anybody's really obsessed with horses.
Some girls I went to high school with, for sure. I know. Popped their hymen on the back of a horse.
Horses are just like cool things to get you around, not really like something to obsess over. Yeah.
Right. Okay, next one. This is like a fish out of water story. You know, Barbie goes from her Barbie land to the real world. And the way that movie should work is that she's the wacky fish out of water and the real world is just normal and real. But then there's so much wacky shit happening with like real life humans, like that whole chase through the Mattel building. Like they're not even trying to catch her. They're just like crisscrossing through the cubicles and stuff. Like why are the real world people acting wacky in this fish out of water movie?
If for some reason she was bringing Barbiness or bringing some kind of thing into the real world, and like that gave them an excuse to have like musical segments or musical numbers in the real world, that would have worked much better for me than to like, I don't know. It almost seems like a super abstract like space when they go to Mattel, where it's like Mattel has a ghost working for it that is the woman who created Barbie or something like that. Like Mattel is just some weird like magic land separate from Barbie land. It's weird.
I would argue that the film kind of feels like some magical fever dream almost. Like it's in a retarded way.
Okay, next one. Why even have a narrator if you're going to forget that you have a narrator for an hour and a half of the film and then she just like jumps in with two little unfunny quips towards the end? Like either use the narrator throughout the film or don't use it at all.
This bothers me in a lot of movies actually, where like for a large span of time they just don't do a narration thing, and then it comes in at the very end and it's like, oh fuck yeah, there was a narrator, wasn't there? It's annoying.
Or and this is the part where I kind of rolled my eyes because it was a good acting scene from our Barbie, from Margot Robbie.
Margot Barbie.
Margot Barbie. and then the narrator goes, Margot Robbie is the wrong actress for this role. And I'm like, shut up, narrator girl. Like this is like a Marvel moment where you're deflating the gravitas with, ooh, it doesn't work because he's hot. I'm like, shut up.
Now, do you think that line was added literally in the last 2 weeks before the film came out, after the Twitter meme of like Margot Robbie's like a 6 out of 10, and like everybody's commenting about how like, 20 years ago she wouldn't even be hot?
I don't think so, just because it's what, Judi Dench or Helen Mirren? I can't remember. It's Helen Mirren.
What's the difference?
Whatever. So it's that actress, so they probably couldn't just get her for
a one-line voiceover. She could do that from her hot tub.
Yeah, but there's contracts and shit to deal with all this shit. So,
But yeah, that line was extremely unfunny. Like, oh, Margot Robbie's way too hot for this movie.
It's like the meta looking at the screen winking type of humor that I just want to punch in the face.
At one point, the Barbie is sad, and then they throw in a fucking like commercial, like, here's new sad and depressed Barbie. And this is what I was talking about derivative jokes. I've seen this exact joke, like a fake toy commercial for kids, but it's some fucked up toy. We've seen this 20 times before, and this might be the least funny version I've ever seen of it. If you're not going to be original, at least be funny. Yeah, I think they failed on both counts.
Mumkey, you're gonna hate me, but I fucking laughed at that scene.
But because it's a good concept, but it's been done 20 times.
The BBC joke thing, where the drama and the
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's the first time I've seen something like that.
What? What?
In a while. I'm gonna caption that in a while.
Okay.
I don't remember, so...
So at the end of the movie, it's like, okay, we've been treating the Kens the way that women get treated in the real world, I guess. Like, this is a matriarchy in the Barbie world. We're finally gonna give Kens the respect they deserve, but no, they can't be on the Supreme Court. What the fuck is that message?
It's
It's that, like, until the, 90s,
world.
there wasn't a Supreme Court justice who was a woman?
So what? So we have to repeat the mistakes of the past? I mean, they've gone to the modern day world and learned lessons.
I mean, it's opposite.
Why are we still?
It's opposite. So men will slowly get like little and little rights or advancements in this world.
Yeah, stupid. You know better. You have a real world to compare yourself to. You don't have like the benefit of ignorance from 100 years ago.
No, it's so fucking retarded. The messaging is so retarded. Why not have everyone be equal? So their idea of a and the narrator snarkily says something like, the Kens have to start somewhere, and the president goes, or somebody goes, maybe until the Barbie world is as equal as the real world, or the real world becomes equal, or some shit. But do you have to bring someone down just to to bring women up? That's the biggest part. I have a problem with this fucking movie, because all the messaging is gonna be forgotten, and what will be remembered is Ken memes. That's what's gonna happen with this fucking movie. It backfires terribly, I think. If they
honestly, that is my biggest single complaint about this movie, is that Ryan Gosling is too good in this movie and is the funniest thing about the whole thing, and it becomes for me like a Ken movie, basically, almost more than a Barbie movie. And since Barbie isn't really a character as much as she's just like a representation of women, it just becomes like the end becomes like, oh yeah, like the entire end conflict is about Ken, and there's several like dance numbers with Ken as like the starring focus of it, and it's like, yeah, I'm watching a Ken movie for the most part. I think that's a problem on their end, that they didn't center Barbie more in it.
And also the placement of the I'm Just Ken song is where the villain song should be if he's supposed to be the villain at this point in the movie. But it's just like a super relatable song about how he feels like he's not loved, and like there's nothing villainous about it at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's too relatable. Like, what the fuck? Do women sit there, like, thinking, oh, yeah, fuck Ken. Yeah, this song, he's really evil right now. And all the men are just relating and sad?
No, it's the ultimate feminine fantasy, Monkey. You can have... The conditioning is broken by some lady complaining about the feminine condition. And then, you as a lady can turn down Ryan Gosling. This is the ultimate feminist fantasy.
I would never turn down Ryan Gosling. Those women are crazy.
No, I think the scriptwriter has no self-awareness that they're making Ryan Gosling look good.
Yeah, I think so.
And Noah Baumbach wrote this movie.
Yeah, they don't know that Ken is the most relatable character in the fucking film.
Okay, here's my last point, and then I'll open it up for everybody else. So we have a big fat obese Barbie, and she's beloved and called beautiful. Why no fat Ken?
Oh, that's a good... Oh, right, that's a good point.
Yeah, why can't Ken be fat?
We have the pathetic feminine Alan. So I guess that's your fat Ken.
Alan is fat Ken.
And also, Alan is at like the girls only slumber party dance disco. So I think Alan is like a trans allegory or something. But
oh, really? I thought he was like gay coded, where it's like he's able to fall in with the women.
Either way, I need a fat Ken. Otherwise, fat Barbie's gotta go. What poor Ken has to be with fat Barbie? That's not fucking fair. But did you guys have any issues or problems with the movie I did not bring up yet?
I think the film is like Schrodinger's Barbie. Because I have friends that really liked it and don't see the men hating angle. Or like there's really this undercurrent that men bad.
I don't think that they hate men. I think they're just bitching.
Okay, maybe hate is too strong a word. Men, what dismissiveness, I guess.
Sure.
Men derision. There you go.
Erich, you want to tell us why this movie's a flawless masterpiece that you gave 5 stars on Letterboxd?
I think I gave it 3.5 or 4 stars. I can't quite remember. Like, I think it generally looks pretty good overall. Like the way they designed the Barbie land, the way that like Barbie like floats down from the top of her house, like she's being like carried by hands, and then like when she's like seizing up, she like has that like, I don't know, limbs together kind of doll kind of thing. It's just so well, you know what a doll is like, you know how a doll behaves. It reminds me a lot of like the Lego movie, the way they like captured the way that toy specifically operates. And so like in that way it's a pretty all right toy movie. My problem overall is just that the movie really gives over to a lot of those insights about society or feminist critiques of patriarchy and stuff like that. I think all that stuff is fine. It's just that there's so much of it that it overtakes the movie too much. And I don't know. I'm surprised this movie not is doing as well as it is, but that it's as well received as it is by mainstream audiences. It got an A cinema score. People are like still seeing it en masse. It had like a $26 million Tuesday, which was yesterday.
And I think Mission Impossible made $3 million. Oops.
Oh,
it's fucking insane.
Oh my god.
Mission Impossible is getting eaten alive even by the fucking Sound of Freedom movie.
Good.
Oh
you know what? Don't make it shitty part 1. Just put it all in the same movie, Ethan.
Oh man, it's fucking nuts. But yeah, I think Margot Robbie is good. She's just not a character in the movie.
Correct. I agree with that assessment.
So that leaves Ryan Gosling, who's fucking incredible, and he should get like a Best Supporting Actor nomination for this,
or at least Best Song.
He mostly carries the fucking movie. It's pretty crazy.
He's the hard carry of this movie. He's the ace of this fucking film.
Do we think Kino Corner will make a Literally Me Ken video?
He should.
There's enough in here for that.
Yeah.
I mean, would you guys not want... Oh, go ahead.
Do you know the essays where some crazy YouTuber says that Toy Story is a communist movie or some shit? You could make an interpretation of Ken being a masculine philosopher king, you know? With this fucking movie, I think you could make it.
And the Kendom is really a utopian paradise. I mean, he's treating the Barbies the way that they were treating the Kens. It's perfectly fair. You got the Mojo, Dojo, Casa House, or whatever the fuck. It seemed like a paradise to me.
It's very odd the way they like the Barbies just kind of give in to everything, where it's like the minute that Kens come in and say this is how things are going to be done, the women just all go, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
the literal president of Barbie Land starts serving them beer on the beach, and I'm thinking, well, is this just not like how the law of nature works? Like women have finally discovered their true place in society is serving men, and they even say like we're happier than we've ever been in this role. What is Greta Gerwig trying to teach us here?
They treat it like the Barbies have been brainwashed, but like if they can't go a single discussion without like immediately kowtowing to what the men want, then how much actual like I don't know.
Well, maybe that's why they won't allow Kens to be on the Supreme Court or in any position of power at the end of the movie because they know
as soon as they do, they just overtake it completely.
As soon as a man in this world says anything authoritative to them, they will, get weak in the knees and start sucking that D. I think that's the lesson we've learned is the only way Greta Gerwig's version of Earth can be egalitarian is if only women are in control because they'll always listen to what men say.
It feels like it's oddly regressive in a way. It's just those regressive parts go so quickly, it's kind of hard to like focus down on that. But it's so weird the way the movie just says, oh yeah, Ken has instantly... Okay, there's a lot of problems I have with this movie structurally. I think they do a lot of cutaway jokes because when the Kens have taken over, they suddenly start in the real world selling toys based on what the Kens are doing in that Barbie land. But they never show us going back to the regular, like, all of the Mattel Barbie stuff, the executives that are like chasing them through to Barbie Land and stuff like that, all that stuff can be cut from the movie. There's no need for it. There's stuff with the real woman and her real daughter, which is really just there to bolster that speech she gives at the end of the movie. It's just, I swear, Greta Gerwig being like, I need a character to be able to say all of these things, so I'll introduce the real woman and her real daughter. But a lot of that stuff is so superfluous ultimately. Yeah. It's so weird. The movie is so oddly structured.
No, you could cut the daughter out, actually.
No, right. Yeah.
Because she rants about being, like part of the rant about being a woman is you have to be caring but not smothering. But you realize this comes from a mother who fails at being a mother. So she can just shut the fuck up. And
yeah, her daughter is such like a horrible bitch that random people in the cafeteria at school have to warn others, like, don't talk to her. She's a huge cunt.
No, I think it's what I interpret from the annoying kid is that she's stylistically designed to be a cunt. So an annoying cunt that doesn't know anything about the world. Right, because she shits on Barbie. She calls Barbie a fascist. It was the first thing you call Barbie. It's like this idiot's interpretation of Barbie. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. A stupid kid run her mouth, and Barbie had no defense for it. That's why she cried. So,
and Barbie had a good defense when she said she does not control the railroads. I thought that was a great response to being called a fascist.
That's a hilarious joke.
I'm going to start using that one.
Yeah,
there's so many fun jokes in this movie, and like the audience I was with loved it. There's a lot of like funny things in it.
Oh, I fucking love that Justice League snide remark. Oh, holy shit! What
you loved that?
No, when the Barbie goes, oh, it's like I woke up from a fever dream of liking Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, they're not gonna.
Yeah, and the only way that the Snyder joke works is if the Snyder cut is the inferior version of Justice League. But every single person on Earth agrees it's like a fucking masterpiece compared to the Joss Whedon version. So what are you going for here?
I just don't like the Justice League movie. Maybe that's why I laugh.
That's fine.
You're allowed to not like that. I think like that and like the Godfather thing where they're like using the Godfather as this like terrible thing that men are trying to explain to women.
Yeah, meanwhile, the opening scene is a parody of 2001. Like, if you're making this big feminist movie, can you at least acknowledge all the great films directed by women? Like, why are you only doing these opashes or whatever the fucking word is to men-directed films?
Opashes? Pastiches?
Yeah, probably that.
Oh yeah,
you should say opache from now.
I make up my own words and people figure out what I mean.
Well, I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Another thing. If you started the movie with like this message where, lady shouldn't like dolls because baby's bad or some shit, and then you end the movie with Barbie going, check my vagina, it would be fun if she's like pregnant, right? It kind of like ties into that sort of shit, right? No, but they don't do anything with any of this shit, right? There's a chance this could have been a decent movie, and I don't hate it, but I wouldn't recommend people watch it. It's such a weird movie.
I would say it's more than decent. I gave it 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Mm-hmm. Like overall, enjoyable film. I just think, like Erich is saying, a little too preachy. Let's focus more on making Barbie an actual character and having a real adventure, and not just an excuse to preach at the audience with a big speech.
The Barbie knows where.
There's a way to make a very conventional Barbie movie, and I applaud Greta Gerwig for going as far away from that as possible. It's just that so much of the movie takes place in this like odd halfway space in between reality and like nothingness that like, I don't know. There's like montages of like real people at some point, and like the ghost of Barbie's creator is talking to Barbie. All of that stuff is nice, but there's so much of it that it just, I don't know. I think it overtakes the movie. And if it's working for people, I'd probably much rather have something like this than the most inane bullshit movie that could have happened. you make out of the Barbie movie.
Well, should we go
in
through
that way,
the 40 animated Barbie movies and start reviewing those instead of the Scooby-Doo movies?
And see how it compares.
Yeah, fuck the Velma podcast. We're doing a Barbie podcast.
Hell yes.
Monkey, if you do a fucking Quentin review shit where you do a 4-hour review of a fucking Barbie movie, I'm gonna go down to where you live. I'm gonna fucking shoot you. Holy
no, it's Is It Kino miniseries, a podcast exclusive.
Can we not?
Can we not?
Oh my god, the best character in the fucking movie.
Well, I'm starting to think maybe we should separate our discussion today into 2 separate podcasts, because we've been going half an hour on Barbie, and I still want us to read through this epic speech and see if we agree with every single point.
Well, yeah, let's go through the speech and then do that as its own episode.
Okay. So yeah, maybe we'll have Oppenheimer coming out next week, but let's go through the big epic Barbie speech. I want to break this down line by line, and we'll see if we think these criticisms still hold up today.
And also, to preface this, Monkey, you told us that this took how many takes again?
Oh, she said, the actress America Ferrera, or whatever her name is, she said that she rehearsed the entire speech like 50 times on set.
Jesus.
So some poor people had to hear this 50 fucking times.
That is some Kubrick shit. That is like breaking an actor down and just completely eradicating their like sense of self. Or
I don't think they were filming it 50 times. She just said she rehearsed it.
She just okay, I see it.
Yeah. Okay, here's the speech. It is literally impossible to be a woman. Now, I just have to criticize their use of literally right there, because, believe it or not, 51% of the population literally possibly are women right now. So,
the lady saying that is finding a way. So there's also that problem.
It would be pretty cool if she said it is metaphorically impossible to be a woman.
Yeah, I mean, that would fit. It is figuratively impossible to be a woman. But no, it's literally impossible. So all you women out there, sorry, you literally don't exist. It is impossible. Next line. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a fine thing that a mother would say to her daughter, kind of thing.
Like, we always have to be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong.
Like.
I mean, I guess these women feel like no matter what they do, they're being judged for doing it wrong. I guess I don't know too many women in my life, but I don't treat them like everything they do is wrong. It is what it is. You have to be thin, but not too thin. Now, this is the line I'm really upset about. I feel like maybe this part of the script was written maybe 40 years ago, because I don't know if you've seen the average American woman, but they're weighing in on average at about 160 fucking pounds these days, motherfucker. What do you mean you have to be thin? I haven't seen a thin woman in years.
Also, heroin chic is now out. So, like, we like them thick now. So,
Well, I think that is part of human evolution, is that thanks to all the modern day Twinkies and whatnot, people are just getting fatter and fatter. And the only way we can continue the species is for our brains to trick us into thinking these obese women are attractive. Sorry, ladies, that's the way I see it, evolutionarily speaking.
I don't think that's necessarily true, just because we've got all kinds of like ancient like carvings of super fat women that somebody was finding attractive. So
maybe they were making fun of them in a statue. I think
was an own.
When you live in a world where like the standard of beauty is very rare, the only way to perpetuate the species is to convince yourself, okay, thick with 2 C's, that's what my dick wants now. But, I'm just speaking out of my own fetishes, I assume. I guess everybody loves fat women now, but that's fine.
Yeah, don't kink shame.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. But this line about you have to be thin, complete fucking lie. They want you to be fat now.
There's a body positivity movement, right?
That's
been
right.
Going on for fucking ever.
Next line, you have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. Now, believe it or not, being thin is being healthy, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, that's a weird line.
What are you talking about? If you want to be healthy, of course you would be thin. Next
Yeah, that
line.
line's just stupid. Yeah.
You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass.
No, why would you ask for money and not earn it? Also, you expect things to be given to you? That's so entitled.
You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean.
Sometimes you have to be mean.
Is she under the impression that the only way to be a boss is to be like a big dickhead and rude to people? Like, I don't see the contradiction
but
here.
also, I think at a certain point, a lot of bosses are seen as mean, or like that just comes with the territory.
I don't know. I'm the boss of Is It Kino. Am I mean to you guys?
Fucking,
Yes.
I hate this guy. Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's fair. That's actually probably a bad example. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. A lot of these just apply to like humanity, not just women.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wrote down. It's like, this isn't a female thing. This is a human thing, and you're acting all special and shit.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just, it feels like someone is ranting. It doesn't, and it has never been in that sort of position. Yeah, that's what it.
You think Greta Gerwig has never put herself in a man's shoes and thought about what life is like from the other side?
No, it's like she's never like actually led people or actually been in a position where she could handle that logical paradox or whatever the fuck you want to call this fake conflict. Bullshit.
You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time.
And that's just what?
Wasn't there on the new I Think You Should Leave, wasn't there a whole sketch about a dad who tried to not talk about his kids at a party?
No, it's.
I think it was in I Think You Should Leave. Yeah.
Yeah. So that applies to both dads and moms.
That's just a parent thing. That's just that's just people are annoyed by parents talking about their fucking kids all the time.
Yeah, we don't care. Shut the fuck up about your baby. This is exact same baby as every other fucking baby. He's not doing anything unique. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. What does that even mean, man?
No, Greta Gerwig is in an environment where you have to be a backstabber, basically.
I guess so. That's like the Hollywood mindset.
Yeah.
You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining.
Who the fuck said that? Who the fuck said that? What about personal responsibility?
And having, like, feigning self-awareness, like, oh, you're just going to accuse me of complaining while you're giving a big complaining speech. Like, that's not the way to make the criticism go away.
Oh my god, you're right.
I keep losing my spot. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much.
How much more of this is there?
We're not even halfway, Rich.
Dude, this is a 4-minute fucking speech, Erich. And we're dissecting every fucking line.
Like, okay, I would love to like see inside the theaters of the audience as this is happening and just see how many eyes are rolling is my question.
I rolled my eyes when this was fucking happening.
Have you ever seen a woman so pretty that she tempted you too much, Erich?
No. I have basic self.
Is that some weird blame the rape victim thing? Like, if you dress too pretty, men will rape you and it's your fault?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck is this speech? What? Shouldn't we tell them they can wear whatever they want?
That is an actual thing that happens, is that tons of women need to dress more conservatively is what they're told so that they don't get attacked. And they're still attacked anyways, the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But also, it's not just tempting the men to not get raped, it's also, or that you threaten other women because you're supposed to be part of the sisterhood. A lot of this movie points out that women hate other women, and that's like one of the big problems in patriarchy. And personally, I hear that, and it just kind of makes me giggle, like, wow, you stupid fucks, why are you treating each other this way? But, I don't know.
It's valid for both genders to come under this, because they, like, do the same thing to the Kens, where they have the Kens go after each other. because they think they're stealing each other's girls.
Yeah, but in the real world, do men hate men the way that women hate women? I don't think so.
I think it depends on the situation. I think like there's a lot of murder that goes on in the male spaces. Women don't murder at nearly the same rate as men do. So,
well, we need to bring up those rookie numbers. Women,
we got to get those numbers up.
Yeah. Never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. You know, you should be grateful for what you have, even though we all live in a system where billionaires are fucking children on islands. Like, yeah, that's the world we live in, dude. I'm still grateful for what I have.
Yeah.
You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail. Who's saying these things to you?
At some point.
Yeah, I mean, your movie's being narrated by like an 85-year-old woman, dude. What do you mean you can't get old? Never be selfish. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard. Literally complaining. It's too contradictory and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. So not true. Who the fuck doesn't hear thank you ever? And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault. This sounds like
you're a woman listening to this, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening. You know what? I'm grateful
your medal
for you.
Is in the mail.
That's right. We're going to send you a gold medal for existing. But like these complaints sound like it's the life experience of one very specific person, and to try to throw a blanket over all of women and say fucking you can never do any of these very normal human things that we all do every day, completely fucking retarded.
Yeah. And you know that woman, Mumkey? It's the woman who wrote the avatar for Barbie as a 41-year-old lady stuck in an office. That's the target audience. Middle-aged women are the target audience of the Barbie movie.
Well, thankfully we have a large we have a large demographic on this channel of middle-aged women. So I guess sound off in the comment section. Did this speech speak to you? Is it true? Etc. Etc. Should I read the rest of this, or are we done?
Is there much more?
There's like 2 more sentences, but it's kind of...
Okay, well, let's finish it then.
Well, okay, I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us, and if all of that is also true for a doll just representing women, then I don't even know.
I think there's a lot of like things here that comes down to caring, and by and large, men don't care how they're seen or what other people think. They just go about their business and do what the fuck they want to do.
Could it be that women experience main character syndrome more than men, and they really think every single person on Earth is paying attention to them and criticizing their every move and really, you know, watching them closely? Because as somebody who literally has thousands of people watching my every move, even I don't feel that way. So what the fuck is up with these women thinking this?
There's this weird interview from Greta Gerwig where she was filming Barbie, right, with Margot and Ryan Gosling, and people kept complimenting Ryan Gosling on how good he looks, and no one is complimenting Margot Robbie on how good she looks, and then Greta says, "I feel like I have to protect Margot." Like from what? What do you mean?
Protect her from not being complimented in public?
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? If somebody compliments Margot Robbie on being pretty, if a guy does that, some rando guy, what do you think will fucking happen, guys?
I mean, I think there's a level to these things where it's like, if it's like a one-off compliment and then everybody goes about their day, I don't think anybody has a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I also saw this interview, I think it was during the beach scene when they're both wearing these very bright, colorful, crazy outfits, and that's more acceptable for women. So for like this Giga Chad Ryan Gosling to be wearing this wacky, stupid outfit, maybe people like just give him a confidence boost, like, yeah, man, you're pulling off that outfit, you look great, whereas Margot Robbie doesn't need to hear that.
Yeah. That's the perspective of the writer that wrote that scene. I don't know how to feel about it. It's just so weird.
One other joke that just reminded me of the beach scene is when she sees a billboard for like Miss America pageant and they're all in bikinis and she says, "Oh, it's the Supreme Court."
There's so many good jokes like that in this. Like,
She walks to the construction guys and goes, "Oh, I need some feminine energy right now." And then it's a bunch of dudes in construction.
And they just rattle off every
because in her
single
world,
cat
they're
clan.
all women all the time.
Yeah.
doing
It's like
those
there's
things.
there's some good commentary to be had there, where it's like no woman would do that probably in real life, right? It reminded me of the GIF or the video clip where the guy is covered in oil and he was changing the gear.
Yeah, that's been going around a lot on Twitter lately.
Yeah, so I don't know if would women also want that. I think there's some commentary to be had there. It's a very interesting thing to point out.
Well, boys, we've been going on a full podcast length just about Barbie. So do we have any final thoughts on this revolutionary film?
Look, I think if this is a crowd-pleasing movie, it's weird enough that I'm perfectly okay with that being a crowd-pleasing thing, because it's not inane shit like Transformers or one of the recent Marvel movies, all that shit. This is at least different in the landscape of popular movies that have come out in the last, 15 years. So in that way, I'm perfectly happy for this movie to do really well and for people to come out liking it. There's a lot of things that are not to my taste personally, and I think that if I were overseeing this movie, there's a lot of things I would cut out so I could focus a bit more on the characters and make it so that there's a relatable journey and fewer speeches and abstraction. I think their problem is that Barbie as a character does not have a whole lot of juice, so they need to expand things out a little bit. And so Ryan Gosling is who I come away with from this movie being he's the MVP. He's the guy who's doing a lot of this stuff and making this movie as entertaining as it is. So yeah, bravo.
And just to prove that we're not a bunch of sexist chuds, I will say Simu Liu, he's terrible. Will Ferrell did not need to be in this movie. He was pointless. Plenty of the male characters I could do without. I think Barbie was my second favorite. Barbie and Ken were both pretty stellar for me. Lots of great jokes. Really, it's just the director and the writer, which I guess it's the same person that I have an issue with for a few sections. But yeah, overall, I'm glad that movies are back. I thought that this summer movies died in the theater, but Barbenheimer proved that people are willing to see something. They just don't want another fucking sequel to shit that started 30 years ago.
Yeah, the number of people in pink I saw coming out to this movie, the number of people in the fucking concessions, buying shit, is great for movie theaters.
Yeah, and there's a skating there in one screening. There's a skating rink outside with pink rollerblades for people to rent. It's crazy.
Yeah, so thank you to Barbie for saving cinema.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Erich. It's a weird movie. I don't hate it, but I personally don't recommend people see it. And I don't think, if I was Mattel, I would have a hard time with this movie because I don't think this will sell dolls.
Oh, I think it will.
Yeah.
I think they're going to sell a shit ton.
Dolls.
Their big mistake is not having an Alan doll available the day of release. What were they thinking?
Yeah,
well, no, but I think Alan was an old doll. That was one of the first male dolls. I think they then moved on to Ken after Alan.
Yeah, but put out ones that look like what's that actor's name? Yeah, Michael. Put out a Michael Cera Allen doll. It's going to sell 1 million dolls.
Yeah. I think their problem is that this movie is so specifically wrapped up in the concept of Barbie and all of that stuff. You kind of can't do a sequel to this very easily. And then also, what other fucking toy brands are going to do something like this that anybody would give a shit about? They put out this press release saying because Barbie is coming out and we know it's going to do well, we're preparing all of our other toys to make a fucking toy franchise
feminist He-Man movie.
Oh, this is
what the fuck are you talking about?
This is the new MCU, guys. The Mattel Cinematic Universe.
I hope Hollywood.
J.J. Abrams is talking about fucking making some gritty fucking Hot Wheels movie, and I want to fucking lose my mind and like pound him into the fucking dirt. What the fuck is going on?
Well, he has a formula for that. There's gonna be some mysterious thing that does something, probably, and they have to stop it from doing the thing. That's a J.J. Abrams plot right there. Just add cool shit.
Yeah, the disappointing thing about this being what saves cinema is that while it's not cape shit and while it's not a sequel, it's still just based on a popular IP. And like same thing with Oppenheimer to an extent. Like that's just real life history biopic. Are we ever going to get like a pure, wholly original film that does gangbusters ever again, or are we just fucked as a society?
Okay, so you mean like somebody creates an idea or a concept for a movie that has not previously existed?
Yeah, Barbie and Oppenheimer are both like things that anybody, like names anybody would recognize. I want something completely original, like not since fucking Christopher Nolan's older movies like Inception and Interstellar. I think have we had a phenomenon like that.
I mean, so do you count any movie, or do you want it something that's like a big deal?
Something that is going to get this many people in the theater.
I just don't know how that.
Yeah, it'll never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it can, because really the biggest problem that these movies have is that the production might be too high.
I mean, the last one would have been Avatar, right?
Yeah, but that is fucking...
And now that's a franchise, but like, yeah, that was the last like original movie that isn't really based on anything else that got tons of people out.
But you got James Cameron there. That's like the big JC. So that will move people. And then positive word of mouth gets in there. You have to have a good movie that has good word of mouth. And
they should try making movies good again.
Yeah.
That's what I think we should do.
Yeah.
Well, boys, should we say goodbye and tell everybody tune in next week for our Oppenheimer review?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tune in next week for our Oppenheimer review.
Oh, I guess, well, do you guys want to plug anything, I guess, since this is technically going to be 2 episodes?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TZARREVAN, and then if you've left, X. You can find me on X at TZARREVAN. If you are no longer on X or don't want to be on a fucking website called X, then you can find me on Blue Sky at I don't even remember my fucking thing there. REVAN1138. I think that's what I am on there.
Were all the good Erich McCoy usernames taken already, or what?
I don't even fucking remember. I don't know why I do.
You know, you don't have to have all those numbers after your name, right? I mean,
that's a Star Wars number. That's why.
Oh God. Okay. What about you, Weekend?
Oh, I'm cooking some videos up. Oh, you can find me at Weekend Warrior on YouTube. So
and on X,
about Barbenheimer. Yeah.
Are you on X?
No, I'm not posting on X because it's.
Hey, I saw that the Monday Magi liked one of my tweets, so somebody is operating over there.
Some fucker named Monday Magi might tweet. Hey, what do you call it? You can't call it a tweet now. What do you call it? An X? What the fuck do you call it?
A Zeet.
A Zeet?
I think because X is pronounced Z for anything that has a vowel after it, maybe.
He's just trying too fucking hard. Elon is just trying too fucking hard to be cool.
Honestly, if you told me he wanted to drive Twitter into the ground and this like some huge thing that he wanted to do, I would believe you. But he for all intents and purposes spent shitloads of money on this, and if this is how he thinks it's going to get successful, I don't understand that.
Maybe Twitter's the #1 website sharing the photo of him with Ghislaine Maxwell, so he's trying to destroy it so nobody can see that photo anymore.
Yeah, he wants to salt the earth.
Makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.